Hello and welcome to the second session in the eVIEW training video series. In this session we're going to discuss how to install eVIEW. I'm now going to turn it over to Dave Fenton, who's going to walk you through the process.
Several reference documents are available on the eVIEW 2.11 installation disk. We just put the disk into the PC. We're not going to run the setup right now, which is what you do to install eVIEW. We're going to take a look at what's on that disk so we can find the reference information. We can see there is a DAT quick start guide, an eVIEW data sheet. This includes specifications and requirements to run eVIEW, the complete eVIEW manual, and the eVIEW quick start guide. We also have the eVIEW help files, one for the eZheat and one for the EcoHeat. So let's start by taking a look at the eVIEW manual. So we're going to open that. The manual is a very comprehensive collection of information that covers installing eVIEW, configuring it, how to use it, and also how to troubleshoot it. So we're not going to go into the manual at this time, but you should know it's here, know how to get to it. You should copy this file to a folder on your PC where you can access it for future reference. We're going to close out of this and we are going to open up the eVIEW Quick Start Guide. And this is what we're going to use to guide us through the installation today. This gives us a very brief list of things we have to do just to get eVIEW up and running. And the first thing we're going to do is to confirm the operating system on our PC. It must be a minimum of XP Service Pack 2. We are running Windows 7, so we meet that requirement for the PC software. And the power supply must also meet a minimum firmware requirement. We are operating in eZheat, and our firmware version is 6.04 for the front panel display firmware and 6.0 for the main firmware. So they are both above 6.0, so we meet that requirement. When you turn on the eZheat, it gives you two different firmware versions because there are two different microcontrollers inside the eZheat. So they both have to be above version 6.0 for eVIEW to be compatible. The next thing we have to do is we have to install the RS-485 cable. So this is the cable that we put together a few minutes ago. We're going to plug this into the PC and we get a message that Windows is installing the software and that it has installed successfully. If Windows needs to have the installation disk, it will ask for it. Otherwise, as long as you get a message saying that the drivers have been installed successfully, then we are good. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the eVIEW software. Okay, so we're going to minimize the quick start. We're going to put the eVIEW CD into the drive and we are going to let it install itself. The initial installation can take 15 to 25 minutes and will require a restart of the PC. Future updates are going to require 1 to 3 minutes and they do not require a restart. So we are going to select the run setup.exe. And we're going to take the default directories. This is where eVIEW is going to be installed. We will accept the licensing agreements. And now we start the process. eVIEW 2.11 includes the drivers for the optional data acquisition module. After eVIEW is installed, the data acquisition module can be connected to a USB port on the PC and it will automatically be recognized. So it's starting its 10-minute process right now. We're going to take a little break and let that go ahead and install eVIEW, and then we're going to come back when eVIEW is ready to go. We're going to restart. eVIEW has now been successfully installed and the computer's been restarted. We'll now go to the Start menu, click on eVIEW 2.11, and we will launch eVIEW. The first thing eVIEW is going to do is it's going to go out and it's going to find that cable that connects the PC to the power supply. It's going to make sure that cable is there. then it's going to make sure the power supply is there. And right now we're getting a message that says there are 29 more activations before the temporary license expires. Okay, we're going to acknowledge that. Every new EcoHeat and EasyHeat power supply includes 30 trial activations. So eVIEW will work for 30 times with each power supply before a permanent license is required. eVIEW is licensed for each power supply based on its ID number. In the licensing page, we can see the ID number for the EasyHeat that we're currently connected to is 24242. So if a customer purchases one permanent license for one EasyHeat power supply, they can install eVIEW on as many computers as they wish. Each computer can connect to the single power supply that is licensed. That is the only power supply the customer can connect to. To get a permanent license, you can contact Ambrell. You can contact them by phone. Here's the phone number in the United States. And you can also contact them and register via the web. And there's information on contacting and registering eVIEW in the help files, in the manual, and also in the quick start guide. And when you do contact Ambrell to register, you will need to get that ID number of your power supply. And when you register, Ambrell will give you a permanent license number. For the power supply that we are working with, the permanent license is 26508. So we enter that and click submit. It tells us the license was found. And if we go back to the licensing page, and it remembers the license number we entered, it has grayed out the number of trial license activations. That doesn't matter anymore. And now eVIEW is permanently licensed, so we can run eVIEW as many times as we want, and it's always going to work. It's always going to remember that license number. And please keep a copy of the license number for your records in case the PC memory is ever compromised, or if eVIEW is installed on a different computer, you're going to have to re-enter that license number. The permanent license provides free updates for 1 year. The software installation is now complete. We have successfully installed the software and drivers for the USB to RS-485 cable, for eVIEW, and also for the optional data acquisition module.
Thanks, Dave. We'd like to thank everyone for watching this eVIEW training video. In future sessions, we'll show you eVIEW's many great features and walk you through how to take advantage of them. Thanks once again for joining us today.